Grammar Lesson 5.2, ZCO Verbs. Today's grammar lesson is very simple. We're going to talk about a group of verbs that conjugate a little bit different in the yo form than the verbs that you're used to seeing. And these are called ZCO verbs. Before we get started, we're quickly going to review the ER and IR verb endings that you're used to using with your regular pattern verbs. Hopefully these endings look familiar to you. As you'll recall, the only time that ER verbs and IR verbs conjugate differently is when your subject is either nosotros or vosotros. All the other forms will have the same ending, regardless of whether it's an ER verb or an IR verb. Now the thing about ZCO verbs that makes them different is the yo form. And on these particular verbs, instead of having just an O for the ending, you're going to have, you guessed it, a ZCO. Here are some common ZCO verbs that we'll be using. Aparecer, to appear. Conducir, to drive. Conocer, to know or to be familiar with. Desaparecer, to disappear. Merecer, to deserve. Obedecer, to obey. Ofrecer, to offer. Parecer, to appear or seem. Producir, to produce. Reconocer, to recognize. Traducir, to translate. Now, as you look at these verbs, you'll notice they all end in either a CER or a CIR. So some people refer to these as the ser and sir verbs, but I prefer to use the title ZCO verbs, because there's simply one rule that you need to remember with these. None of them have a special stem change or any crazy spelling changes that you need to know, except for in the yo form, and that is that your C will always change to a ZC in the yo form. So that would be right before you put the O ending on. Here are some examples of these verbs in the yo form. So if I wanted to say I appear, I would say yo aparezco. I drive, yo conduzco. I know, conozco. Desaparezco, merezco, obedezco, ofrezco. So basically that's all you need to know about the ZCO verbs. Keep in mind that they will follow this regular pattern that you're used to seeing with ER and IR verbs, except for that irregular yo form, and you'll be good to go.